We're gonna be making a very difficult decision, or some people at the dais think it's going to be a very difficult decision on House Bill 2787 here shortly. And since your name came up and you're here, maybe in the wrong place at the wrong time, I wanted to ask you a question. You were talking about student tuition, and then Matt mentioned fairness in tuition. And in regards to in-state tuition, regardless of your color, you come to an Oregon university to pay in-state tuition. Is that tuition subsidized? Does in-state tuition cover the cost for that student? And I know it's a tough question because you have multiple funding streams. You have a little bit of input from the State General Lottery Fund. You have input from alumni. You have input from the feds. I get that. But I'm trying to get to, are we putting a burden on the Oregon taxpayer, or are we putting a burden on other students? You mentioned several times about trying to keep costs down, but student tuition increases, whether that's in-state or other tuition. Can you clarify a bit for me?
I'd be happy to. Chair Dembro, Representative Huckman. In my larger presentation, which I had prepared in anticipation of at some point talking to you about that, I would tell you, our average costs run probably in the $12,000 to $13,000 per student range. Average costs across all students. I don't have an average cost by undergrad versus grad, but that's across all, grad, undergrad, res, non-res, et cetera, just average costs, and all disciplines. Some disciplines are more expensive than others, as you can imagine, engineering compared to, say, sociology or something. So that, and in terms of resident students, we receive about, depending how you count it, $3,000 or $4,000 per student from the state, and we receive about $6,500 in tuition from the student. So that's a gap. There's, it's $10,000 roughly compared to that $12,000 or $13,000. The difference actually has been coming from non-resident students. And I have a graphic in my larger presentation, excuse me, that actually shows that 15% of the costs, on average, are borne by non-resident students in the system today.